Okay, so like I said, make sure your name's at the top. So just put your name. Of course, it's PD4. And then the date is 12/13/22. Okay, so the first problem says, and it has like a standard, which is just like the standard I'm supposed to teach you in geometry, and it explains the standard. I'm not going to focus on that. I'm just going to focus on the problem. It says Murphy's thrift shop used pieces of tape to paint a window advertisement. The letters are all slanted at an 80-degree angle. What is the measure of angle 1? So here it's saying that this and this is slanted at the same angle. So that would mean that those lines would be parallel. So whatever this angle is, that would also be the angle right here. So this would be 80 degrees. But it's asking for the measure of angle 1. That would be supplementary to the 80 degrees, or consecutive interior angles would be supplementary. So to find angle 1, I would do 180 minus 80 equals 100 degrees. So the measure of angle 1 is 100 degrees. And if they needed a reason or like a theorem or postulate to explain that, with these parallel lines, this would be the transversal, and these would be same side interior or consecutive interior angles. Consecutive interior angles are supplementary. I noticed when I put this assignment on Khan Academy, it's one of the first ones you guys go to get questions right, so I think you should be pretty good with that. Also, sometimes if you don't remember the pairs, you can look at this. Like, notice that this is more of an acute angle, and then this is more obtuse. That means that these wouldn't be equal, they would be supplementary. They're either going to be equal or supplementary. Okay, number 2, it says a picture shows a portion of St. Pete Clearwater Airport. If angle 5 is 78 degrees, what other angles are also the same measure? And list them all. What is the measure of angle 3? I'm going to zoom in, because otherwise you're not going to be able to see. Okay, I'm zooming in on this. It says that angle 5 is 78 degrees. Okay, it wants to know what other angles are 78 degrees. I might even go through and just label them all. Like vertical angle, this would also be 78 degrees. Corresponding angle, this would be 78 degrees. Another vertical angle here, this is 78. And then the measure of the other ones, it would be supplementary to 78. So 180 minus 78 would be 102. So this would be 102. 102, and 102. Remember, you're going to be doing this on a computer screen. I would recommend sketching things out on paper to label them, because once it's labeled, it's much easier to answer these questions. Okay, so moving over here to the question, it wants to know which angles were the same as angle 5. Well, looking at this now, we would have angle 1, 4, same as angle 5 would be angle 1, angle 4, and angle 8. And then what is the measure of angle 3? Measure of angle 3 is 102 degrees. Okay, so now we're moving down to the proofs. It says complete the proof given that angle A and angle B are supplementary, M and A are supplementary, and complete the proof. Okay. If you need to, I would draw a visual. It says A and B are supplementary, so that means like angle A and B would make 180 degrees added together. And then it says angle A and angle M are supplementary. So A being that same measure, M would be right here, Right. So if A was like 30 degrees, then B would have to be 150 degrees, and so would M. So B and M would actually have to be equal. So looking at the proof, that's what they're getting at. They give you the given, A and B are supplementary given, M and A are supplementary given. That means angle A plus angle B equals 180, because the definition of supplementary angles, and measure of angle M plus A equals 180, definition of supplementary angles. Then they say that measure of angle A plus measure of angle B equals this, so this equals this. Because they're both equal to 180, they can set them equal to each other. That could be called substitution, but they call it transitive, which is also transitive. Transitive property of equality. And then next step, now that these are equal, you have a measure of angle A on both sides. You can subtract measure of angle A from both sides. And then you would just have B equals M, which is what they did. Properties of addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Okay. And then they're saying that they're congruent. So if the measure is equal, then those angles are congruent. That was definition of congruence. Okay. Next one. Now we're proving triangle congruence using side, 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 angle, angle, and angle, angle, side. And hypotenuse leg, which we'll practice in the homework. So here it says that PQ is parallel to RS. So for number 4, PQ is parallel to RS. And then it gives us this picture here. So I'm just going to make a note. Again, if you're on a computer screen, you might want to just sketch this on a piece of paper so you can draw on it, because it makes it way easier to see. So it's saying PQ is parallel to RS. It's also showing us on the picture that PQ is congruent to RS. They're the same length, and so they wrote given here as well. Okay, what do they say next? Angle SRP is congruent to QPR. So SRP, that's this angle right here, is congruent to QPR, this angle right here. And the reason that those would be congruent is because if those lines are parallel, this is a transversal, and alternate interior angles are congruent. So alternate interior angles are congruent. Next statement is that RP is equal to RP. Yes, it would be equal to itself. That is reflexive property. And then it wants to know why these triangles are congruent. Here's why it's so important to actually write everything down, because once you have it all written down, you can easily see that it's side angle side, side angle side. So therefore this is SAS, or side angle side congruence. Okay, next. 5, it says BEA is an equilateral triangle in the figure to the right. Complete the proof. Okay, starting with BEA being an equilateral. BEA right here, so this triangle is equilateral, and to me that means that all the sides are the same length. Okay, so BEA is equilateral, that is given. Then it says that angle CAE is congruent to this one. So CAE, they actually already have this labeled, DBE. So since they already have it labeled, that is also a given. Then another set of congruent angles, AEC. So this angle is congruent to BED. And the reason those are congruent is because of vertical angle theorem. And then it says AE is congruent to BE. We marked that when we found out that that was an equilateral triangle. So the reason why AE is equal to BE is because definition of equilateral triangle. Then last thing, we have to decide why they're congruent, whether we have side, angle, or what we have. So we have angle, side, angle, side, angle. So we can say that this triangle is congruent to this one. So angle, side, angle. So remember, this is your best study tool for the exam. So if you think of anything else that you want to make a note of, just write it down on here. Okay, so we're going to go to the back. Okay, so in the figure on the right, AB is parallel to DC. So in this figure, AB is parallel to DC. Again, going to kind of sketch that out. On the computer, you might want to just sketch this down onto a piece of paper, or if you can lightly write with a pencil on the screen just to make notes. I guess that's okay. Okay, so this is parallel to this, which means just making a note that this would be a transversal and so would this. So we'll probably be using that in whatever they're saying. So which of the following statements about the figure must be true? Okay, first of all, and I'm writing in pencil because I'm probably going to erase as I go. So measure of DAB, so this angle right here, plus ABC, this angle right here, equals 180. No, the only way these two would add to 180 is if this line was parallel to this one, and that is not the case. So no, A cannot be the answer. Did everybody understand that why? So these two would be supplementary only if this line was parallel to this line, and it's not. Okay, next one, DAB plus CDA. So this one plus this one equals 180. That is actually accurate, because if this line's parallel to this one, this is a transversal, meaning that consecutive interior angles add to 180. So it's probably B. We'll just make sure by going through the other ones. It says BAD, so this guy, and equals ADC. No, I mean it might, but we can't prove that. So not this one. And then ADC is equal to ABC. No, we can even see that those aren't equal. Nope. So the correct answer is B. That this angle plus this angle adds to 180 because they're consecutive interior angles. And number 7, Highlands Park is located between two parallel streets. Okay, it doesn't show parallel on here, so I'm going to make a note of it. So this right here is parallel to this. Okay, when that happens, then you have transversals here. It says, what is the measure in degrees of angle ACB? ACB would be this angle right here is what we're trying to figure out. The angle formed by the park's two brick walls. Okay, well they give us this one. We know that these three angles will add to 180. And then they also give us this angle. Well, alternate interior angles are equal, and this would be a transversal since these two lines are parallel. So if this is 36 degrees, then this is 36 degrees. And then we can figure out the missing angle because these three I have to add to 180. So 180 minus 36 minus 60, and it comes out to 84 degrees. Cool. Okay. So that is it for today. As you can see, we're going to move into transformations tomorrow, but I think that's a good stopping point for today. You will have a proof practice on Schoology. It's the same proof practice you've actually done before when we were working on this stuff, so it might look familiar to you. As always, 8 out of 10 or higher, you get full credit. You have 5 attempts. Go ahead and take a computer to your seat. Get started. If you finish it, work on Khan Academy. If you're done with Khan Academy,